look at Erin, my wife, who I love dearly. She's stepping out in a big way outside of her comfort zone, but she can do that in her life now because she feels safe. Yeah. She feels seen and heard and desired. Home base is taken care of. And as her man, I feel, this is selfish, I feel incredibly rewarded because I provide that space for her. And every guy wants that. You know, when my wife looks at me with admiration because I'm there, I'm supporting her dreams and her desires as well as building mine. There's nothing that feels better in that moment. Hey guys, welcome back to the TPM Show. Once again, we are going to be taking your questions coming in or your stories that are coming in. Chris Hansen is here with us. Once again, he is one of our top advisors at TPM. So he gets to be on the front lines talking to men each and every day. Chris, thanks again for being here, man. Glad we were able to keep you around.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, we're off camera. We are having a conversation. You were telling me about a guy you talked to recently. And I thought, you know what? There's probably a lot of men going through the same situation. So let's have a short dialogue in here. I know you've got to get going. I know we kept you. So let's rock and roll.
Yeah, for sure. So this gentleman actually just joined the activation method.
Oh, congratulations to him.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, he was in, I wouldn't say a unique situation, but in a bit of a desperate one. When I got on and I started talking to him, it was evident that he was exhausted, for one. He had been beaten down. He seemed very hopeless. It was kind of coming to us as, his words, a last resort, because everything that he had tried in his marriage up to this point had failed. And we're talking 20 years of him trying to figure out how to connect with his wife, how to not blow up at his kids, therapy, counseling. It was pretty evident to me that there was an issue of tools, really. He didn't have the tools to necessarily execute what he was trying to execute. But yeah, I'm curious, like, what would you say to a guy that's found himself in a position like that?
I've been there, not 20 years. Consider myself a reasonably smart guy, certainly very resourceful. And so, you know, I started my first company in my early 20s. I've had many companies since then. I've exited I share that only to say very resourceful, figuring things out. You have to be, right? You have to be a grinder. If I have a problem, I'm going to find that solution, grind it out if I have to, and get to the top. But when it came to my marriage, that one was different for me, man. Grinding it out just doesn't work. So I sympathize with this guy. There's a lot of guys listening to this who are like, crap, I tried everything. Man, I tried counseling. Not one, but two marital counselors, and we did premarital counseling, right? And each time we go into the counselor's office, Chris, I swear we'd come out more mad at each other.
Yeah.
Each and every time. I mean, you're saying this like you've had the same experience.
For sure have had that experience.
Well, you spend your time looking in the rearview mirror, and they want you to keep honing in on that one problem or whatever is going up, and it's like a hamster wheel. And I was talking, and we have, as you know, we have men that are in the movement going through our programs that are also marriage counselors, right? They got taught a doctrine at school. Here's how you do this, right? And I don't want to say it's antiquated. It doesn't work for the guys I know. Yeah. And as you know, that we've had thousands upon thousands of men come through the program. So there's a big data pool to look at. Okay. And I don't blame the counselors because I think they are doing their best. Their business model is such that it behooves them to keep you on that couch.
Yep.
And I think some of them do it consciously and some of them don't. They're there to help. They just don't have the tools. Oh. So I empathize with this guy, with what he's going through. And it's frustrating when you keep trying things that just don't seem to be working. Now, previously we did some episodes with my wife, Erin, who you also know, who coaches women. And one of the big things that she talks about all the time is energy, right? And how a man shows up energetically within the relationship. And how does he find himself in that energetic system? They don't teach that in church counseling, marital counseling. And then second I'll tell you what, man, previously if someone told me that, I'd be like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But at this point, I've seen it so often work. And then you have to have the right tools, right? Marriage counseling didn't give me the right tools. The only tool it gave me was to parrot back what my wife said to her.
Yeah.
Okay. As an example, I'd be like, okay, Aaron, what I'm hearing you say is when I come home after a long day of work, you want me to do X, Y, and Z, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not truly listening. I wasn't providing her an environment to feel safe. Physically safe, knock that one out of the park, I think, but emotionally safe. I grew up in a house with 3 guys. We all played sports. I knew my brothers loved me the more shit they talked about me, right? Yeah. So that doesn't work with your wife, by the way. I've tried it, you know.
Same.
My wife's like, I like sarcasm, just not the way you're doing it.
Yeah, dial that back a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to be not at my expense.
Yeah.
So those things weren't working for me. And there wasn't anything out there. So I had to scramble and search and books, courses, whatever I could. And then when I started seeing these things work, one thing I got really good at was putting it, just like business, put it into a system. Mm-hmm. And now fast forward, gosh, here we are at TPM. We've been doing this for 8 years with coaches from all over the world. We have a proven methodology. It's a system that we're able to put in. So one, you got to do your energy. Your energy is a big deal. More than this guy probably knows, though. He just joined the activation method. So congratulations to him. Look forward to meeting him. He'll learn this. 2 is you need a system, right? We're men. Like, as a businessman, you don't just show up every day at the office or at work or in front of your computer and just do whatever comes to your mind. You would have the most unsuccessful business ever. You put systems in place that you know are going to be repeatable and reliable. And that's why we call it the activation method. It's a methodology that people can use. And so that's where he can have some solace just knowing that thousands of men have come before him and come out the other side of this, which I think is incredibly important.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I shared with him is really all we need from you is just to show up honestly, authentically, and allow us to just plug you into the system.
Yep.
You don't need to know anything. You don't need to just show up as you are and allow us to walk you down this path.
I want to buy you a gift. Look, if your marriage is struggling, and let's be real, every marriage struggles at some point, but yours is struggling where you've lost that love, admiration, respect, I want to help you. I want to buy you a copy of the book that I wrote, A Man's Guide on How to Save Your Marriage Without Talking About It. In here, I've distilled over 8 years of programs that we've developed at TPM to help men just like you save their marriages without talking about it. There's no fluff, no BS. It's an action plan that you can start using today to actually save your marriage and bring that love and respect back into your family, back into your house. You deserve it. Look, all I ask is you pay the postage, you pay the shipping, I'll buy the book for you. That way you can take massive action today. Click the link or find it in the bio and get your copy now.
I think that was the thing that really allowed him to settle because he was coming in having done years and years of the books and all of the different things. And, it took a minute for us to see each other in it and recognize that he was like, well, I know all this stuff. I've heard all this stuff. It's like, sure. Yeah. I imagine you have if you've been reading and doing all of these things and exploring in this space. How do you execute them?
Yeah, I get it, man. I was that guy. That's why I used to sign off this podcast. Don't go from podcast to podcast. That's basically educational masturbation.
Yeah.
I used to make myself feel good by listening to 4 podcasts a day, right? I'll listen to it on 3X or whatever it was. So have you ever skydived?
I have not.
Okay. So you probably understand the concept of skydiving, right?
Yeah.
And probably heard stories about skydiving, maybe even read some articles about skydiving. I have skydived. And I will tell you, my friend, it is a very different experience actually jumping out of that plane.
Yeah.
For me, it was even going up in the plane. Every cell in my body was shaking. Mm-hmm. So I'm naturally afraid of heights. So that's something I battle every time we go on these events and ziplining. Phil picks ziplining a lot for these events. I swear he's going. I apologize, Phil, for whatever I did. But you can explain skydiving to somebody, but until they jump out of the plane, they'll never experience skydiving.
Yeah.
Now, When I went skydiving, did I go by myself? No. There are rules for a reason. I went tandem, and I asked that guy, how long you've been skydiving? Same thing we talked about in a previous podcast. Yeah. How many people have died along the way? How many hours do you have? I asked him similar questions as we talked about when choosing personal development. Yeah. And this guy had a lot of experience, years doing it. I jokingly asked him how his life was going. Everything going well? I just want to make sure. And so I had the safety of him. And so as soon as we went out of that plane, I was attached to him. I laughed the whole way. It was such a magical experience. I loved it because I had an expert guiding me. And that's what this gentleman's going to get.
Yep.
He's going to be surrounded by one, he's going to have a head coach that's going to be there with him. He's going to have a client success rep. So that's two people, two professionals that will be guiding him through the program. Plus he's got the whole community wrapped around him. Yep. So when he goes to try the Triad of Connection. So if guys are new to this podcast, one of the things we teach is what's called the Triad of Connection. It's 3 things that allow your wife to feel safe, allow her to feel seen and heard and desired, which all women need. The first one is the clean slate method, right? Wipes the slate clean. That gets rid of the looking in the rearview mirror, right? Now you're starting from scratch, right? Just like a newly married couple. And that's great, but not great, not where we want to be. So then we teach the guys the hidden motives technique, right? And so that's the second part of the triad. And that allows your wife to be seen, heard again, right? She's now, most women that we talk to, because you and I have the benefit of actually talking to some of these guys' wives, will say, this is the first time I've ever felt seen in my whole life. So his wife, he'll be able to apply that to his wife, which is, every guy wants that, man. Every guy wants to be that guy that gives that to their wife.
Yeah.
And the third thing we do is we call it the live like a king system. And that allows the man to anchor all of this in, anchor himself in, to be grounded, to be rooted. Those 3 things alone, there's other stuff that's taught, are fundamental to our methodology and what we've developed over the years to bring this guy to a certain place. So he's going to have access to all of that new technology, information, and support coming out. Again, it's easy to theorize what it's like jumping out of a plane, but to any guy that's listening to this that's jumped out of a plane, he's going to understand there's a difference. I mean, especially if you're a scaredy cat like me, like a guy like me, it's like, I don't want to be up there.
For sure. Well, and that aligns with exactly how our conversation went today.
Yeah.
His big fear in all of this was like, he wasn't looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It was like, this is going to be work that I don't really want to do. And I'm going to be doing this work with my wife for the rest of our lives. And I'm not going to be happy. And I reframed for him. I was like, actually, like, once you understand these tools and you start to implement them, this becomes fun, just like your skydiving experience.
100%, man.
Like like you're creating fun in your relationship, connection, intimacy, things you haven't felt in a very long time, which sounds scary, I'm sure, right now. But the moment that you start to experience that in your relationship, everything opens up and you get to actually have fun with your wife.
Look at Erin, my wife, who I love dearly. She's stepping out in a big way outside of her comfort zone, but she can do that in her life now because she feels safe. Yeah. She feels seen and heard and desired. Home base is taken care of. And as her man, I feel, this is selfish, I feel incredibly rewarded because I provide that space for her. And every guy wants that. You know, when my wife looks at me with admiration because I'm there, I'm supporting her dreams and her desires as well as building mine. There's nothing that feels better in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in a similar space with my wife right now.
Yeah.
We're stepping out and doing some things that in the past she's struggled to do. And it is really interesting to see where that emotional safety and that support from me comes in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredibly rewarding.
I don't think I would have known that was missing until I actually had it.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like a new experience. Your wife starts looking at you with that admiration. I don't want this to sound degrading because it's not, but she looks at me almost like with these childlike admiration eyes, like a little girl.
Yeah.
Because she looks up to me. She sees me in a different light.
Yeah.
And we were talking about what women find sexy and what they don't find sexy. I'll tell you what, man, like your wife's girlfriends, they're looking at you as sexy. I know that's not why you do it, but at the same time, they're seeing her grow and she's talking about it. And as a man, you know, we married these women, or we told these women, hey, I got you.
Yep.
And to have them trust in us as a man, there's nothing more rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree 100%.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, this is why you're such a great advisor. So when you get on the call, you're on the front lines. I mean, these men like this gentleman you're talking about, first of all, kudos to this guy.
Yeah.
Like if I was in a situation, would I be open to getting on a call and trying one more thing? That's tough. It's tough. As you know, we have thousands of guys inquire every month. Of those, only a few guys actually even get on a call.
Yeah.
So when they get a chance to have just a conversation with you, that's all it is, a conversation. You're able to just give so much wisdom from your personal experience, but also all the other men you've helped. So thank you for all you do, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, as I say in the moment of insight, take massive action. And, if you enjoyed this conversation, Chris is one of our advisors. That's all it is. Just get on a call, talk to the advisor, and see if what TPM offers could work for you. See if it's the right fit. And if it's not, guys like Chris, what they do is they send you resources and they recommend other programs that might be a better fit, or they might say, hey, you know what? This isn't the place for you, but you might want to check out X, Y, and Z. We're committed here. We're on a mission to save children by saving their fathers first, right? I do the work not only for my wife, but I do the work because my kids. I want my kids to grow up with the best father they possibly can have, and that involves me stepping to the line each and every time. And maybe that's for you too. But I'm going to recommend getting on a call with Chris or one of our other advisors. And I'm just going to make one request, man. If you book a call and you sign up, guys like Chris has got 2 beautiful kids, a beautiful wife. I happen to know him well. Show up to the call, right? Just give the man the courtesy of showing up to the call and having the conversation. That's simply all it is. There's no commitment required. It is just a conversation. We're here to help guys like you, whether it be from the podcast, whether it be from our other resources, whether it be from a conversation with an advisor like Chris, or maybe even something else. We're here for you guys. Make it a great week. We'll see you next time on the TPM Show.